Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Nux on the mic. Alright. If everything is going well, we should be live. We are now live. First things first, before I say anything else, if anyone is in the chat, let me know how I sound. In terms of audio levels, am I too loud? Am I too low? Let me know how that sounds, and I'll adjust that. But assuming y'all can hear me, I guess I'll say one thing. First of all, big apologies for being a bit late with this stream. Usually I'm pretty decently on time with these types of streams, but I was a bit late this time, and I really apologize for that. Something came up, and I had to work with that. Plus, I had to get everything set up, and you know how it takes me a minute to do that. So, big apologies for being a bit late in terms of the stream itself. But that's in the past now. Hopefully, if y'all are still here, just know I am streaming. I am gonna still do the talk and all that stuff. I just wanted to make that clear. But big apologies for being late. I'll try and work on that. And it's kind of the reason why I was late is because I have to, like, this is basically the best time for my streaming. You know, the best time I don't have to deal with any crazy interruptions, and even this is still kind of a bit of a tight fit for me. So big apologies, at least for now, at least. But yeah, all right. I see the 𝗁𝗐 in the chat. Sup, dude? Welcome. How's it been, man? How do I sound? Let me know how I sound before I continue and I make a fool of myself. Alright. I'm checking all sorts of stuff right now before we get into the gameplay and the actual talk. And the 𝗁𝗐 says I sound good, so that is great. So if I sound good, then I guess I can continue with my talking here before I jump into the gameplay. Oh man, oh man. And this is going to be some stream, folks. This is going to be some stream because we got a lot to talk about. I have a whole little list right here about the different topics we're going to talk about tonight. And we got a lot to chat about, folks. We got a lot to chat about. This is going to be more about the specific things we got to talk about tonight rather than the actual gameplay and stuff. So the game is going to act as more of a backdrop. I have the audio to the game off just so that, you know, my voice specifically can be loud and clear. And when people go back to watch this specific stream, they can hear my specific voice and turn it up without having to worry about the game audio blowing their ears out. So if you're wondering why the game audio is going to be off, that's why. So that since this is a chat stream, but there will be gameplay. There will be gameplay. Specifically, our Lord and Savior, he will be in the background, so y'all don't gotta worry about that. He will be here. But before I dive into that, I want to make sure I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. You know, I don't know how many people plan to join us tonight. We usually don't get too many people for these, but I want to wait a few more minutes just to make sure we get a few more people. That, and I'm also I'm hoping maybe it's not looking likely right now, but maybe we might have a guest on one of these streams. And it's been a hot minute since we have. I don't think I can remember the last time I streamed and we had a guest, but if someone can make it on, a certain someone can make it on here, that'll be great, and we'll have an extra opinion in terms of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. But if not, it is what it is. Alright, I sent out the tweet that we're live. I'm pulling up the topic list right now. Jeb? Oh, no. Not Jeb. Not Jeb. He's a bit out of my league right now. He's got bigger and more important things to worry about than me, I'm sure. But that would be cool. Maybe one day I could co-stream with Jeb or do something interesting like that. That would be really cool. If he's down, and I'm still in contact with him. I still talk with the dude. So if he's down to do something like that, that would be really cool. But I'm sure he's a busy guy right now, so I don't want to bug him. But in terms of tonight, no. It'll just be one of my close friends within the gaming squad. So someone a little less known than Jeb. But yeah, well, maybe he'll make it, maybe he won't. But if he doesn't, that's fine. Cause you know me, I got plenty of room to ramble and carry this. So it'll definitely be interesting. Let us see. So I'm checking here. Alright. Looks like my specific VC is empty, so we might not be seeing them tonight, but I'll keep it open for now at least, in the case that they do manage to show up, because it's not too late, I think. And so far I see the Talene is still here. So again, thank you for coming out, my dude. It's always nice when I have people coming out to these, especially when they're especially with how few views these tend to get. But it's all good. Any support is great support to me. But I think it's about time. We're 10 minutes in. I don't want to take too much of y'all's time, so I think it's about time we get this party started. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the gameplay. I'm going to play the gameplay for a few minutes. And then when I think that no one else is going to show up, I will begin the casual, if you will, the casual talk that we're going to have. Ooh, boy. And it's going to be an interesting one because we got so much to talk about, my friends. So much shenanigans to talk about. I got the list right here. All right, the list is ready, so when we're ready to get to that, we'll get to that. But for now, I'm going to play a few minutes of the video game stuff. And again, there's going to be no game audio. But do let me know if you do hear game audio, because I don't know if I completely turned it off. But if you do hear it, let me know. That'll be annoying. I don't know how I'll be able to fix that, but it is what it is. All right, let's get that going. Okay. Let me know how the gameplay runs too, if there's any lag, if there's any issues, stuff like that. And again, keep me up the post on how the my voice sounds. So far, it's looking everything looks good on the
Yo, Nux.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Our guest is here. Sup, Conan?
You hear me?
Yep.
Alright. Wait, are you streaming already?
Yep, I'm already streaming, so you're on right now.
Oh, damn.
I wanted to let you know now. Like, yeah, we're live, my friend. But it's all good.
Alright, hold on.
I've pretty much got.
Let me.
Oh, what happened?
Let me close my door real quick.
Okay. But yeah, I got everything set up, so all you got to do is talk on VC. So I do have to make sure you sound good. To the chat, how does Conan, my guest, sound? He is here, by the way. So say some stuff, Conan. Introduce yourself. I guess that'll be a good way. Are you still there? Hello? Oh, let me see if he dropped. You still there, Conan? Uh-oh. How's everything sound in chat? I don't hear Conan. He might have dropped. Alright. Not sure what happened to Conan there, but to the chat, let me know if you hear my homie. Because I don't hear him. Oh, he probably had to make sure things are quiet. Alright, I'll just jump into the game until we can hear he comes back. Also, not getting any word from chat, so not sure if I'm still good, but I see according to the playback, nothing seems to be wrong. Sir, So I guess I'll just play the game and see what happens. Alright. Alright, here we go. I butchered that because I'm like looking at chat. I'm gonna give him a few more minutes and then I'm gonna. Which button is it to like drift? I always suck at this skateboarding section.
Yo, I'm back.
Is. There he is. You dropped for a second. I didn't hear what happened, so I was like, "What the heck?"
I had to close my door.
Oh, gotcha. You told me too. Okay, my bad then.
Wait, so you started talking about anything already or not?
Nah, I was just I figured I wait for you to come in. I'm playing. If you can see the stream, I don't know if you'll be watching the stream or not, but it's just me playing Sonic, so it's nothing special. And not Frontiers.
Yeah, I
It's
see
Sonic.
it.
Yes, Sonic. What is it? Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is what I'm playing. But yeah, oh my goodness, because I'm looking at chat. I'm trying to see who's here. I can't focus. All right.
Who's here?
Uh, the 𝘃𝗏𝗁 was here, but I don't think he's here now. But I guess we'll get started. So hey, Conan, how's it going? If you want, you can introduce yourself. Since you don't want to plug stuff. Oh, the 𝘃𝗏𝗁, he's still here. Cool. Thank you for tuning in and staying, my dude. And let me know how
Yeah.
me and our guest sounds. Conan, if you want, you can introduce yourself, and they can let you know how you sound.
You're gonna put this on YouTube?
Yeah, I tend to re-upload these, so if you want, you don't have to tell them your channel. You can just introduce.
They know who I am.
Okay. Yeah. In terms of general of who he is, it's Conan. He's been in quite a few of my videos by now, and if you watch any of my discussion videos or something, you'll know who he is. But yeah, good to have you here, Conan. And let me know how he sounds volume-wise for when he starts talking. If he needs to be adjusted, I'll turn him up, turn him down, whatever. Alright. So I'm going to get the top list now, and we'll get started. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about tonight, my friend. We have so much to talk about, because, as you know, Twitter's been crazy lately. And by Twitter's been crazy, I mean the site is quite literally falling apart, allegedly. So, like, just what do you think about all this madness lately in terms of a general sense? Like, how do you feel?
To be honest, I don't even know what's happening.
For real. For real. Like, last night was Whiplash, bro. Last night was Whiplash. And, I have a whole list of topics here, and since I'm going to get into the ones you'll probably care about first, because I have some other minor ones I want to talk about, but I guess we'll save those near the ends, and we'll get into the ones you care about. So, first and foremost, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And whoo! Bro, do we need to
Big
even...
mess.
Yeah. What do we even make of what's going on with that whole madness? Like, what do we even make of what is going on with that? How do you feel about the current state of that game's reception?
I think it's kind of funny.
That's exactly how I'd expect you to feel. That
Like it's not something that would happen under Nintendo, but
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like all this drama about a game coming out and being glitches, this is just like so un-Nintendo like you usually don't expect this kind of stuff from Nintendo, but all of a sudden this game releases and we're just we just have a game right now that has quality that we wouldn't expect from Nintendo, and it's just insane. Like, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just came out, and basically, the games are a glitchy mess. Like, I wouldn't say like they're glitchy to the point of unplayable. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the current status of the glitches are, but I know there's some pretty bad ones out there in terms of the clips people have found. We've got what even are the ones like noteworthy ones? We got the Pokeball throw one where someone threw a Pokeball and the world just blew up. we
Falling
got
through the floor.
right. We got the crazy frog, the
Who?
crazy frog one where the
Who's
you're
that?
floating in the sky. Uh,
Really?
Basically the legendary that you ride in the game is invisible and you're like floating in the sky. You've seen that one, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Getting stuck. Right. Like there's been all sorts of crazy glitches for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it is a trip.
So far for me, it's just the frame rate.
Oh right, and you mentioned it's had some bad frame rate issues too. Like you want to elaborate on that?
It's hard to play the game.
Ooh, and this is single player too, right?
Yeah, offline mode.
Ooh, that's terrifying. Cause like when games glitch that bad offline, that's the point where I'm like, all right, y'all need to reevaluate your decisions. Something needs
On
to
top of
change,
that,
bro.
exactly. But on top of that, like you didn't know the turn-based in Pokemon is slow, so
Ooh.
lag plus the slow text and all
Oh,
that
you
is just
mentioned
a
the
mess.
menus were lagging too, right?
Yeah.
Which is just horrible. I can't even
Maybe I
imagine
missed it.
what that
You
looks
can't
like.
turn off battle animation, so like even that's
Ew.
slow.
Ooh. And why
Or
did they
I
change
couldn't
that?
find it.
Why did they
I don't know.
change that?
Or remember Alpha said that they took out like when you could see what Pokemon's coming out next? Oh,
Yeah.
that's still in. It's still in.
Oh, it is? Okay. That's
Yeah.
great. But yeah, so this debacle with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has just been a hot mess. It's probably the most glitchy I've seen a Nintendo game in a hot minute because something to note with Nintendo games, I mentioned this in the chat, is that even the most glitchy Nintendo games don't glitch out. Not the most glitchy, the most worst Nintendo games, like straight up bad, they don't glitch like this.
True.
Like they don't glitch to this extent. So it's kind of wild to see a game just glitch out like this. Yo, where's the Chow at? Where are they hiding?
Yeah, Talene wrote in the chat.
Oh, Talene, I'm sorry if I didn't see your message. He said, speaking of Pokemon, the evolution to the grass cat. What do you think? Excuse me. And yeah, I've seen the evolution. I guess we can talk about that now. Excuse me, I gotta take water, bro. The air here, bro, it's stuffy. I was choking there for a second. Okay. But he asked me what I think about the evolution to the grass cat. I cannot pronounce his name, bro, which is why I just call it the grass cat or weed cat or whatever.
It's Rigatito?
There, yeah, that name.
Like that.
Okay, now I know. Now I know. But yeah, it's a weird name. But anyway, all right, where'd this baby go? There he is. There he is. That boy got tossed. But yeah, the Tylene says is what happens when you rush a game out. And here's the thing, like we've known for a hot minute that Pokemon Company has been going crazy with these cycles, but this is just something else.
Yeah, they gotta slow it down.
Like, cause I didn't think it would get this bad. Cause yeah, they've been on a fast-moving dev cycle, but we've never really seen the effects get so bad. Like we've seen crazy stuff happen before, but never to this extent.
It's kind of like Sonic levels.
Yeah, because this is getting on this is on some Sonic level stuff. And the thing is, like Oh, that's gonna get into our next thing because because you know the Sonic war and Pokemon fan base wars that's been happening on Twitter. I need your take on that, bro. I need your take on that.
I feel like Sonic fans are just happy they get to tease for once.
Right. Which I don't blame them. They got a lot. They got some actual reason to for once. But yeah, it's you know the world has gone crazy when they get the tease for once, while Pokemon fans just are making excuses.
What
And
happened to a Mario game though?
yeah, oh, this would not if this would I don't think we would ever like unless like something really bad happens with Nintendo management. I don't think we would ever see a Mario game with this level of just unpolished. It would be insane if I did. Because like even again, even the worst in terms, at least the worst modern Mario games as of recent memory, they don't chug like this. They don't have performance this bad. So it's like baffling to just see uh any kind of Nintendo game performance that. And people say this it's Pokemon. They've been on a bad streak for a while. This isn't that surprising, but not entirely because in terms of previous generations, and we mentioned this in the chat too. They haven't been performing this bad. Like we mentioned Gen 7. The only really bad thing about Gen 7 was the lag during double battles is what I noticed in terms of me. And then Gen 6, I didn't notice any performance issues, but Mars said that that also lagged
Gen
during double battles, but I don't remember that.
Gen 6 lagged like in solo battles too for me.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I'm probably forgetting then. Maybe because
But like
again,
everything else was responsive and pretty quick.
yeah.
Generation 9, bruh.
Yeah, because like these last few gens, like Pokemon and 3D has always been rough. It's always had issues, but this is a whole nother level, bro. I'm trying to be fancy, so that's why I'm dying. All right. Even though, oh, the Talene makes a good point. Even though Frontiers is rushed as well. Now again, I haven't played Frontiers yet, so I can't like do a whole breakdown on what's the status of that game's quality or nothing like that. But I can say for certainty that they Sonic fans still can't be talking because Frontiers also has its own little quirks, if you will.
Wait, is that game like super glitchy?
It's not glitchy like as bad as the traditional Sonic game would be, if you will, but it definitely still has glitches. We have seen stuff like falling through the floor glitches, Sonic getting launched in the air randomly. Like their Frontiers has glitches. Like I've seen a lot of Sonic fans straight up say their game is more polished. Bro, your game does have the usual Sonic shenanigans. So you can't talk.
Yeah.
It's just, it's less than usual because Frontiers actually has a little more polish than usual. And it's not as bad as what we're seeing with this. Especially in terms of just like raw visual glitches I'm noticing.
Yeah, I saw a couple of Frontiers glitches, but like for the most part, I just checked out of like that entire game as soon as it came out.
Right, you were watching cutscenes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still haven't played it, so I can't comment on everything about the game, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have some definitive understanding of the game. But that being said, I still think Sonic fans can't talk right now in terms of how the game looks, how their game looks visually.
Especially coming off of Forces.
Right. Especially when you consider that they've been on a streak. Like this is Pokemon's first like really bad glitchy game. Like I said, the other generations are not like this. This isn't like some downfall of Pokemon that's been going on. This is kind of its own little level.
This
Oh,
is
jeez.
crazy.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff. And one thing I should make clear in terms of at least my opinion, at least, is I don't justify this stuff. I think it's really bad But I will say one thing though. I do need to make something clear though. I do own the game, and it's not because I went out and bought it. It's not because I went out and bought it. My brothers bought it because we're huge Pokemon fans, so they wanted to go and test out the game. So it's in my house. I didn't have plans on getting it, but usually we play Pokemon games together, so they went and got it. So it's in my house. So I figure, hey, I'm gonna play it, and I will be able to judge for myself how this game is. I'll probably, maybe I'll do a review video on it. I have a lot of videos to catch up on, so I can't exactly say whether or not I'll be doing a full review video on it, but I'll definitely be throwing my hat in the ring when I play the game, especially when we do what is it, multiplayer, which again I don't know how that multiplayer is gonna run with if single player is chugging, bro. Ooh, y'all pray for us in the chat.
I don't even know if it's gonna work.
Right, it's about to be on that brawl online BS.
Cause Alpha, he's playing my copy of the game because I got it digitally.
All right,
You
bro,
can play the
that's
game at
even
the same
worse.
time.
Like, isn't digital supposed to run better? Like, because it's in the system or something? I don't know,
I think so. I don't know.
but that just. But to answer your question, the Taline, because I know you asked something about the grass cat, and I never friggin' answered. What do I think of its evolutions? I saw them when they leaked, and my thoughts are that the grass cat, the main one anyway, is all right. I think it's cool. The first evolution, it's typical middle stage evolution starter, so I don't have any real strong thoughts on it. I would probably put it in C tier. And the last form, all I could think when I immediately saw it was, is that freaking Reali from Knights? I was like, bro. But other than that, I think it's alright. I think it's passable.
The
A lot of
last one looks like a dollar store Persona 5 Persona.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a persona. But overall, I think it's cool. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I would pick that one because I don't like the other two.
Oh man, but yeah, that's funny. All right, but yeah, if anyone else has any questions, don't be afraid to ask them. But yeah, those. So overall, that's the whole. That's our take on the current debacle with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Maybe they'll put out a patch and make things better, but who the heck knows, bro? Who the heck knows?
I'm surprised there wasn't a day one patch. Or at least
Right.
I don't remember doing it.
You would think they'd have a fix for this ready. That Tilling says he likes the final Evo of the Fire one for Coco. That's the one I'm picking because I usually pick the starters among my brothers since there are three of us and there are free starters, and I picked the Fire one. But I kind of feel like let me keep my voice down. But I kind of feel like I cheated them because I saw the evolutions, they didn't, so I might have did them a little dirty. But don't tell anyone I said that. But yeah, I'm picking him, and I do like his last form. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, it's growing on me.
All right. I'm about to look at my list in a second. I was playing the game.
Tails.
Yeah, I know these mech stages, bro. The first few, it's the later ones that like really get on my nerves. These first few are fine. I'm just playing like trash because I'm like multitasking.
Yeah, I always hated the pyramid level.
Yeah, the pyramid one sucks, bro. Especially the one with Eggman and the sand pits and stuff. That can get annoying. But other than that, these mechs, they're not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, they're not like the bane of people's existence to where people. I agree with people that say, "Oh, the game is only like half good or whatever." But that's me. Y'all already know this.
Should have gave Tails a gun and let him know.
Yeah, I said that in my remake video too. I said give him a hand cannon or something to make up for it. Make him play more like SA1.
Like he should have been like the groundwork for Shadow the Hedgehog.
That game would probably play better if they experimented with the style more. In
True.
general, I don't know why they didn't just make them play similarly to that instead of be so experimental with the gunplay. But don't get me started on Shadow the Hedgehog, bro. And I still have to go finish that game too, bro. Pain. Don't remind me.
Still haven't finished it.
Yeah, I did a few playthroughs. I'm gonna do one more episode where I do a few more one more playthrough probably to get like the last unique ending song, and then I'm gonna beat the final boss and I'm gonna call it game. Like I didn't get every single ending, but I got 100% save file on deck. I'm gonna use it. Screw this game. I hate it so much, bro. It is pain and suffering.
I gotta go back and play it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it, but if you want to try it, go for it. Why is the gate opening? Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, who the heck is hiding? Oh wow, did I really? Wow, I took out the freaking boxes. I could have. Ooh, ooh, ah! You love the art, man. Don't remind me of that crap. Don't remind me of getting stuck in the maze level and getting bullied by artificial chaos for an hour. Don't remind me of that, please. That mission was garbage, bro. This man digging up disgusting PTSD memories. But I'm gonna pull up the next topic, just to get to it, and then we'll talk about that. I can't believe he reminded me of that. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is Switch Pro. So this kind of goes with the Pokemon discussion, where some people are saying that we need Switch Pro now, so that because this is a sign of it. And while with a game like Bayonetta 3, I think that's definitely the case with you, because I think you can tell that game is being held back by by the hardware. I don't think it's the case here. I don't think that's the case here. Like the problem is simply that Game Freak is just not taking their time, and they're just not putting their best foot forward right now.
Wait, you said that they think that we need Switch Pro?
Yeah, they're using Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as a argument for why we need Switch Pro. They're like, oh, the game can't handle it because it was built for Switch Pro, which no, bro, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because Pokemon Company, or at least just Game Freak and them, I don't think they're like making these games to push the hardware. Which is
I
why
just think they're not used to it.
right. But you'd think, things wouldn't get this bad with how long they've been doing 3D at this point, but just like it's like
I feel like this is a different beast.
yeah.
The first 3D, like Gen 6
Oh
and
yeah,
7,
we do have
was
to consider
restricted.
this is open world, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, why am I on this level? I thought this was the stage. Disgusting.
Gen 6 and 7, they were like kind of 2D games, but in 3D.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna stop this. Alright. I had to restart the game. I think it froze for a sec there. The boy Gani, he's a regular on these streams. Gani789, he says, "What up, Nux, my boy? Just finished up work, waiting for my mom to pick me up. After that, I'm watching some random coming hen Ninja. Never seen that show.
Me either.
Is that like something from Nickelodeon or something? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sounds like some TV show. But yeah, good to see you, Gani. I see you a lot on these streams. Good to have you. But yeah, I don't think. Oh, it's a Disney show. Yeah, that sounded like a Disney show. But I'm not. I'm not hating. I'm not hating it unless it gives me a reason to hate. Because you know how these Disney shows be.
Yeah, I'm chill.
You guys been doing well, yes, sir. Uh, and we do have a guest, 𝗀𝗍𝗁, so the boy Konon will be with us. If you hear an extra voice, that's who that is.
Wait, when do you think they are gonna do like the next Switch?
At this point, bro, I feel like next year would be the most logical time because I feel like it's long overdue that they make their attempt to do it, and next year seems like the perfect time. But at the same time, I'm like mixed because like it comes down to whether or not they're launching it with Tears of the Kingdom because I feel like that game specifically is the perfect game to launch it with. But if it's not with Tears of the Kingdom, then I don't know when it's gonna come, bro. It's gonna depend on what other big game they're gonna like want to do or whatever.
But you think Switch Pro or Switch 2?
Oh, we say Switch Pro. I feel like at this point it would be Switch 2. I don't think they're gonna be doing some super version of the Switch. I think it'll be like a next successor kinda.
Yeah, I think that'll be better.
I mean, ideally that's what I want because Switch is like, Switch is oh my goodness, this wonky platforming. I feel like that above all else is what makes the mech stages more annoying. It's the it's the platform with these wonky mechs. Like, if you're gonna have shoot 'em up sections, focus on the shooting. Don't have us platform with
Facts.
these trash controls, bro. Not that they're that bad, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but like it's clear that the mech isn't made for the same level of platforming as with Sonic and all them. Oh, I almost died.
The mechs are the reason why I haven't replayed Adventure 2. I probably won't ever.
That's crazy. But yeah, I still love the game. I play this game. I replay this game a lot, so it's just some. I do understand that some of these later sections, especially, are annoying. So annoying. Alright, I gotta look and get the next topic. Mad Space, yes. Mad Space ain't even one of the worst levels, bro. Security Hall drives me more insane than Mad Space, honestly. I cannot stand Security Hall, bro. Why Rouge said she needed only 5 minutes, I'll never understand. Ooh, good lord. Sorry about that. The only show I despise with a passion is Teens Titans Go. Oh, thank goodness. We have some sane people in this chat.
I never watched it, but it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, boy. Nah. That show is. Oh, man. We did not talk about Teens Titans Go. I don't want to remember. The few clips I've seen of it is just pain, bro. Like, you know how the colors there is so unbearable with its writing? Like, that's
Yeah,
Teens Titans Go, bro. Like, if you hate colors that are tight writing, you'll hate that show.
hard pass.
But let me pull out the next topic while I'm sitting here trying to cross this dang bridge. Oh yeah, so the fall of Twitter, that's what we got to talk about next. So, yeah, Twitter is exploding. Basically, if y'all have been keeping up, we've been going through this craziness with the Elon Musk saga ever since he's bought Twitter. Like, it's just been going. He's been making so many dumb decisions, firing so many people, and it's craziness, craziness. And now there's a bunch of reports about the site about to implode because he's basically fired almost everyone. So that's where the whole fall of Twitter stuff came from. For people wondering about that. So do you have any thoughts on that, Conan? You probably don't care because I don't even think you.
But my question is like, Okay, so he fired people, but like, did he hire anybody?
No, it doesn't look like it. Like he's doing mass hiring now. Actually, I saw an article saying he's trying to rebuild up the team from all the people he fired. But yeah, he fired so many dang people,
Wait,
so
so
many people
why is everybody so mad?
because he's firing so many. The rate he fired people was so much. It doesn't look like Twitter's gonna be able to recover. So the future of Twitter is like so uncertain right now. At least for now, at least though, it looks like it's fine.
But how come they're saying he ruined the platform? I mean, by that?
Yeah, because he
Oh,
fired almost everyone. The site hasn't been the site could go down at any moment, so that's why people are mad at him.
oh,
And it's annoying because Twitter is such a unique platform. Like for all of Twitter's faults, and trust me, it has a lot of faults, especially with the way it
oh.
handles drama and canceling people and all that stuff. Like it has its faults, but to me, it's a great platform for connecting with people, especially with artists and stuff like that. You know, so that's why I'd be sad to see Twitter go.
You're gonna have to make a Tumblr.
That's where I've seen some people saying they're gonna move to Tumblr, and it's like, do I gotta move to Tumblr? Like it's not the worst site, but and I have one. I like made one for like I think a giveaway or something. I forget, but yeah, like that's not the worst site, but dude, I gotta go to Tumblr.
I'm good.
That's not the best place, you know. Like if I had to choose where we could go, Instagram don't seem so bad, I guess. Like it's basically similar to Twitter almost.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Posts, videos, and all that stuff. Like I made one to capitalize on the memes and stuff. But yeah, just absolute madness. But yeah, I would miss Twitter if it goes down, but for now at least, it looks like Twitter is fine.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go away.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go away. I guess we'll see what happens though.
The memes were funny though.
Yeah, about the site imploding. Back to Sonic Adventure 2 for a second. I gotta say, I do think Eggman had the better. Sometimes he'd have the better, cooler moments and stages. Like his stages feel a little more tighter designed. I don't know if that's just me. Something about
Uh,
Tails could get annoying, especially again those desert levels, bro. Pain. Like all the other mech levels aren't fine, but those desert levels could get mad annoying.
Barely remember it.
Uh, and let me know how the gameplay looks too. It's probably chugging.
That looks fine.
Okay.
My screen at least.
But yeah, it was chugging a bit for me. I saw because of I'm like I have multiple things open.
Wait, so the Yuji Naka.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up. He's on the list too, so I'm glad you brought him up. I was about to pause and look, but I'm glad you brought him up because we can get to him, bro. Where do
So
I?
his tweet said he did the insider trading to fund Balan Wonderworld 2. Is that true?
Wait, what? Hold
It
on.
said they said he did.
I gotta pause and look at this. Hold on, I gotta see this because this can't be real, bro.
I
This
think it was a
can't be
meme.
real, bro. It might be a meme because that's what some people were saying. That he did it to fund Balance World too. Let me
That
see.
would be hilarious.
I hope not, bro. I hope that's not why he sacrificed everything. Let
Is he actually in jail now?
me see. You're gonna have to link it. I don't see nothing, Conan. But yeah, he did get actually arrested. That much is true. So let me explain something. So imagine being me, right? I'm scrolling casually. It's another day on Twitter. I see there's this one guy, there's this one Japanese news guy, and I follow him because he's really good at reporting Nintendo news specifically. But he makes a post saying Yuji Naka has been arrested. And at first I'm like, oh, that's probably some dumb meme making fun of him for Balan Wonderworld or something, because he's been getting clowned for that mostly. Like, we know him as the co-creator of Sonic, being the guy who programmed a lot of the early games, up until '06 and all that stuff. But he's been getting dunked on because ever since then, he hasn't had the best track record. But I see this article, I'm like, okay, it's just a dumb meme. But then I see the check mark, I see it's him. I'm like, wait a minute, this can't be real. And then, like, I see more and more. I had to legit read the headline 3 times over to, like, process that. That was the most insane news I've ever gotten from Twitter. Like, that's the equivalent of waking up and seeing Miyamoto got arrested for tax fraud, bro. Insanity. Oh, I think I just walked into a dead end. But yeah, how did you feel about all this madness?
I didn't even see it until you posted it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm pretty fast with, nah, cause I had to share that instantly, bro. I had to like, I had to get that out. I'm like, yeah, I know y'all don't. I know you like, cause I had to get verification that other people were seeing it to make sure it was real. Like, y'all tell me I'm not the only one seeing this. Oh my goodness. And like the fact that it was specifically for insider trading too, which is not like the worst crime ever, so it's not like that baffling. And I'm gonna say something kind of touchy here. It kind of makes sense, because his track record was not good. So to see that he was getting a little desperate for money, not the most impossible thing.
You mean game wise?
Yeah, because his track record, like he had his own studio at one point, and that didn't work out well with what was the one game? Rhodey, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Rhodia.
Yeah, that studio didn't end up working out either.
Yeah, one job.
Yeah, so between that, Balan failing, and him getting quick kicked out of Square, like he was not on a good path. So him doing this, it makes sense. But he hasn't been convicted. He, guilty until proven innocent, all that junk. But I don't know, man. Things ain't looking good.
He used to just go back to Sonic.
If he can. Maybe he does, bro. Maybe he does. And we could use some Naka touch, bro. Because let me say something, not some people are, you know how the Sonic fandom is, so some people are dead ass like, yeah, baby, Naka in jail. Which is crazy. But, like, Naka, he wasn't perfect. Like, we know this. Like, there are records of him yelling at folks, like, just being a dick, all that stuff. So he's no saint, let's be honest here. But at the same time, at least I still feel like he was a big part to Sonic. Like, I've seen some people say, he's not the creator of Sonic. He didn't mean that much to Sonic. He was just a programmer. The programmer is still important, y'all, in case you forgot.
Wait, I thought he was like
He's not
one of the two.
Yeah, he's one of the two, but he's more or less the co-creator because he basically just did the programming. He wasn't the guy who designed the Sonic. That was what was his name?
Doesn't it start with an N or something?
Yeah, that was 𝘃𝗶𝗃. 𝘃𝗵𝗶 is the guy who specifically he was the one who specifically designed Sonic. But yeah, Naka, while he isn't the main guy, I definitely still feel like he was a big part to Sonic, And I feel like he's a big reason why those earlier Sonic games just had such a unique touch to them.
That same guy made a balance design too, right?
Oh yeah, that's not official, so he wasn't trying to fund no Balan Wonderworld too. But yeah. That's still it's still crazy. Still crazy. It's still crazy to hear that he's going out like this. And again, Naka wasn't perfect, and especially with his recent track record, I'm not like his biggest fan in the world. And I do think he made a lot of mistakes. Like, for example, like, we gotta remember, he willingly left Sonic. Like, if he was kicked by Sega, that'd be one thing, but he willingly left Sonic. So at the end of the day, he really did choose this path for himself.
True. I feel like he could have made it as an indie though.
Yeah, he could
But he
have.
just wouldn't let go of that Knights gameplay for some reason.
We talk about this a lot in the Sonic chat that the Knights gameplay is trash, which I don't know how many Knights fans we got here, but yeah, that Knights gameplay ain't it, folks. I'm sorry. If you like Knights, that's fine, but it ain't it, folks. Especially with how much he was trying to keep it alive.
Bro, three
Like,
games.
yeah, at some point you gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. I like Knights too, bro. People, I played it. It was all right, but trying to make it work for that long, come on now. You gotta change it up, especially with the how much the gaming environment changes.
Facts. Not gonna stop until he does like an open world Knights game.
Oh, he would too. He would too. But again, that's if this whole situation, works out for him and he gets out of jail. I don't want to see my boy rot, but at the same time, I don't think I'll cry the most tears if he's just gone. It
He
is what it
said Billy
is.
Hatcher.
Yeah, he said, have I ever played Billy Hatcher? And my answer to that is no, but I know what it is.
I was gonna get it, but I never did.
Oh, really? Like back in the
Yeah,
day?
yeah, on GameCube. I kept seeing it in the booklet.
Yeah,
It says
he
Sega.
was around. Nah, I never cared about Billy Hatcher. I only know about him because I like to do research on other Sega series, kind of like how I looked into other Nintendo series at a point. And I was just like, oh, there's a Chicken Man, okay. I didn't care for him. There's
It's
other
Human
Sega
Sonic.
series I like. Well, yeah, Sonic is in the game though. I swear, he always finds his way into the other Sega series. So maybe that would have convinced me to get it back in the day, but otherwise, I wasn't with it.
Yeah, I saw gameplay of it and just never got it.
All right, well, let me get the next topic here. But yeah, Naka, I'm still in disbelief of Naka getting arrested. That has to be the wildest of the wildest news. I think that's what like broke my brain, and hopefully I can recover from that. All right, let me see what's on the topic list next. Next we got. Oh yeah, okay. So now we're getting into the minor topics. We pretty much covered all the major ones. So now we can get into the minor ones. So first one I have on the minor ones is I want to talk a bit about the Pokemon anime, which I know you don't care. Well, you care because you've mentioned it before, but I wanted to talk about Ash winning world champ because I was watching a bit of the arc leading to that, by the way, which was the Masters 8, and I wanted to give some thoughts on what I thought of that. So yeah, what did you think about Ash becoming world champ?
Well, I didn't watch the battle, but it sounds pretty cool from what I heard.
Yeah, to give my thoughts on it, basically. So Pokemon Journeys has been it's had its ups and downs to put it lightly. Like Pokemon Journeys has been an up and down series. Like when it was first announced, I was so hyped because it's a series where we're going to all regions because they very made it clear that this is a very climatic feeling series. Like this could possibly be the end of our boy Ash, and I like
One needs
Ash.
to.
I mean, yeah, it's long overdue because it's Ash. Like I like him, but he is such a formulated protagonist that if he took a break, I would not be mad. Oh my goodness, where's the camera? Okay, there it is. I
Or
was
at
gonna
least like make a series run alongside it.
right. Like I love Ash's series, but like the boy needed a break. He's needed a break for a long time. So if this was the climatic series for him, I wouldn't entirely be mad. But the problem is, Journeys had a weird structure to it. So it was originally going to be this series about traveling across all regions, but then you have Go as the co-protagonist, and his journey is just so weird with him wanting to catch all Pokemon and catching Pokemon in one throws, and it's weird. No, Pokemon's Journeys is a continuation of the Pokemon anime. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake or anything. It does continue. All Pokemon seasons continue. It's just that sometimes they like to soft reboot, quote unquote, and basically don't acknowledge the other series much. That's the only thing.
Yeah, like Pikachu getting beat up. Yeah, what was
Yeah,
that
the
Pokemon?
infamous Snivy fight. But people forget that fight actually had context. He didn't just lose to a Snivy immediately. Like, he got injured by 𝘃𝗏𝗁.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what people don't. But it's still stupid because even with that injury, he should have did decent. But yeah, like people ignore the context for that fight that he got injured by 𝘃𝗏𝗁. But it is still a stupid fight. But yeah, the show does have its dumb moments. Like the fact that he loses to like the first gym leader of later regions sometimes is dumb in of itself. Like, bro, your stats should be maxed out. With Pikachu specifically. With his newer Pokemon, it made sense. You know, when he gets new Pokemon and they don't perform the best because obviously they're new. But with how much he brings Pikachu in the fights, it's like, bro, come on now.
True.
And it's especially going to be dumb if Ash returns for a 𝗏𝗏𝗄 anime and we see Pikachu get bodied after seeing him go Super Saiyan against Leon. That's what makes it dumber. But yeah, I like the anime.
Speaking of Leon, I'm just glad that Leon lost.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah,
anime wise, I'll say he's a little better than he is in the games. He's not like just some mindless champion that's like I'm the champion, I'm unbeatable, like friendship and all that stuff. Because the anime actually adapted the Gen 8 stuff pretty decently. The problem is just that it didn't really focus much on the Gen 8 stuff since it was an overall region focusing on all regions. And the thing with the all regions focus is we weren't always traveling between the regions. We mostly spent a lot of time in Kanto because the main laboratory for this season is this professor. I think his name is Professor 𝘃𝗏𝗁 or something. They spend a lot of time there, and that's what made it a drag a bit. You know, they spend so much time in this lab. They spend so much time with Go catching his Pokemon, and it's just annoying. But yeah, Journeys is a hit or miss series, but it has its moments. It had a lot of cool returns too. Like for example, Paul, his Sinnoh rival, came back, and his episode was great. He has some nice character development where he's still kind of a dick because he's Paul, but he's nicer now, obviously, because Ash humbled that boy. And then Gary come back too. He had a arc where he was rivals with Go since he's a professor guy now, and he has a goal of catching Pokemon too. And he just roasted Go every chance he got because he could. And yeah, the Mewtwo episode too. Did you end up watching that one?
Nah. Is it good?
It was all right. I gotta watch the dub. I'm curious how he sounds in the dub. Hopefully they gave him a good voice and he doesn't sound like Femtu or something.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't know what they were thinking.
Let's not get into that again. Gani says, I tried to rewatch Pokemon. I couldn't do it. It was corny and cliche. Yeah. Like, rewatching certain episodes is fun. Like, but if you're, like, binging Pokemon, like, it's almost impossible. Because the episodes are so formulaic. They're so the same thing, especially with Team Rocket, bro. Pain. Like, I like Jesse, James, and Meowth. They have their funny moments. But sometimes they're just annoying, bro. So it's definitely a chore to like go back and watch all of Pokemon, but sometimes I go back and rewatch my favorite episodes. And watching Journeys has been an okay thing. But before I end my talk on this, let's talk about the Masters 8. So the Masters 8 tournament, you know, it was this big tournament where they gather champions or strong trainers from across the world. To even enter it, you had to have like this high ranking in this big competition thing. So like it was like what was it? It was like I can't even think straight right now. But yeah, to even enter it, you had to have a high ranking in this competition, and that's the thing. It wasn't well defined how many battles you had to win or what specific people you had to beat in order to do well in this competition. So it's like it was so unclear. It was so unclear as to how you even get in the tournament. But Ash got in, of course, because not only is he a champion, but he won the battles, I guess. Even though most of them were friggin' off screen, it was annoying.
Wow.
But yeah, Gandhi says the Black and White arc has to be the only time where Team Rocket were serious. Well, specifically that trio of Jesse James and Meowth. Yeah, for some reason, Black and White did this thing where they made Jesse James and Meowth serious, which I did like, but we didn't see them much because of that. Like, there were only so many episodes where they showed up, and when they did, they were like serious, but they'd still get their butts kicked because it's Team Rocket. So it didn't really mean much. It was cool to see 𝘀𝗵𝗵 back, though. He came back near the end, and they tried to take over Unova with 𝘂𝗍𝗂, which was kind of weird that they used specifically 𝘂𝗍𝗂, but it was a good arc.
The
It was a
heck?
good arc. And Ash met 𝘀𝗵𝗵 for the first time in a while. 𝘀𝗵𝗵 didn't even acknowledge this boy. He just smacked him to the wayside. He's like, bro, get out of my way. That arc was fun. Like Ash did recognize him, but he didn't, and then he just told his person, if you don't smack this kid out the way, and then he just went about business. So that was the highlight of that arc for me. The fact that he did not care about Ash. That he didn't even remember him. But yeah. This Masters 8 stuff, they basically took the champions from every region. And yes, I was just about to get up to that. And the weird exception of the Masters 8 was they brought Alon back, who was his rival in the Kalos series. And he was this rival that had this Mega Charizard, and he was insanely strong. He's the guy who ended up beating him in the Kalos League and ended up causing that horrible controversy for losing the Kalos League. So he's infamous. Alon is infamous, and then they brought him back. So everyone was like, okay, they have to do a rematch between these two, right? Right?
Nah.
And what ended up happening is he ended up going against Leon, and because it's goddamn Leon and he has plot armor, he one-shots him. So yeah, everyone was pissed about that.
He one-shot him?
Oh, well, not like one-shot him in like the sense, like, but like with his Pokemon, like when his ace went up against his ace, one-shot, bro.
Oh.
It was crazy. And the rest of his Pokemon didn't do much better either. Yeah. So yeah, the Masters 8 was off to a bad start, but after that mess, it did get better. The battles slowly got better, and the big one everyone wanted to see was Ash versus Cynthia, which I thought, which overall ended up turning out all right.
Wait, what Pokemon did Ash use?
Oh, he used his main Journeys team for this whole tournament. So that's one complaint people had about the Masters 8. He did not use any old Pokemon. He used his main Journeys team. And his Journeys team is like just so weirdly structured. Of course, you got Pikachu. You have his Lucario, which is basically his ace for this season. And I do like Lucario because they did establish that Ash does have Aura, and they do revisit that and it mentioned that he has Aura. So I thought that's really cool. I thought that was really cool. But then the rest of his Pokemon are kind of weird. For his Galarmons, he has Surfetch, the Farfetch evolution, which I just think is like, why? But it is strong, though, and it does some stupid stuff in this tournament. If you watch some of the battles, that Surfetch is like goated for no reason. No reason. There's no reason that Surfetch should be that strong, but it is. Anime logic.
Gotta check it out.
You would never see a Surfetch that strong in the games. But yeah, and then he has 𝘃𝗏𝗁, which is the fossil Galarmon. And that actually makes sense to have, because if you know, that Pokemon is broken in the Galar competitive. So, the fact that he had...
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, 𝘃𝗏𝗁, the ugly Galar Fossilmon. So the fact he had it did give him a little bit more credibility that he performed well in the Masters 8. Then he has Gengar. He had a Gengar that he got this season, and it basically had a similar story to Charmander where a trainer abandoned it, but for different reasons. Basically, the Gengar, he believed the Gengar was cursed, and it was bringing him bad luck, so he abandoned it, but Ash took it in, and it's funny that he says it's cursed and all that, because now he's world champ. So, that's some cool irony, I thought. it's nice that Gengar had this arc of proving he's not a bad luck Pokemon, so that's cool. Who else? Did I acknowledge everyone? I feel like I'm forgetting someone. So the two Galarmons, Pikachu, Gengar. I'm definitely forgetting someone. I am definitely forgetting someone, so I gotta pull it up. I am forgetting someone. Dragonite. I forgot about Dragonite. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Dragonite. So he caught a Dragonite this season. I forget Dragonite because Dragonite's kind of just there. Like Dragonite did have some moments. Dragonite had some goated moments, but Dragonite was kind of on a really bad losing streak in the latter half of its appearances, and he didn't use it much, which is a shame because it's a freaking Dragonite. But it kind of felt random with this team. You know, he had like two Kanto Mons, which okay, I guess, old Mons, and then he had two Galar Mons, and of course Pikachu. So I'm guessing that's what they were going for with this team. But it just feels very random together, you know?
Yeah.
Like just two random Kanto Mons, a Dragonite and a Gengar, and then a Lucario, and then Sirfetch'd and Dracovic. And I really don't get why they chose Sirfetch'd of all Galar Mons. Like, I feel like he could have gotten a Galar starter. Like, a lot of people were ticked when they learned Go would have all three starters instead of him.
What the heck?
Yeah, he did instead of Ash, since he actually went out to catch Mons. That's where Ash was just kind of like doing his own thing this season with his battles and stuff. But yeah, Ash, other than Alon getting bodied bad by Leon, the other battles were all right. They had a few dumb moments that were like, okay, you could have done something else to avoid that. But
Did
it was whatever. It
Lance,
was cool.
Lance have all dragon types?
I think Lance, if I'm remembering correctly, he got like destroyed by Diantha because she came out with them berries. But then she got bodied by Leon because he's Leon.
Of course.
Yeah, so it was really dumb. Iris was also there. She represented Unova. Can we get a rest in peace for Alder in the chat, y'all? Because that's a big thing with Journeys. There was an arc where Ash got invited to Unova by the champion, and he was wondering like, oh, is that Alder? Nah, it's Iris. So in the time that he was gone, she just snatched up the champion title like in the games, which I thought was neat. And also, she's a bit more mellowed out than she was in the actual black and white show. So a lot of people were kind of like happy to see Iris again, even though it was like, bro, we all know y'all roasted her back then. Like, and reasonably so, because she was unbearable sometimes. But like, it was good to see that they fixed her writing wise. Oh my gosh,
I've
way to
never.
swoop in. But yeah, you probably didn't watch Black and White anyway.
Yeah, I only saw the Mewtwo movie, and I
Right.
don't remember seeing Iris. Not Iris. Her name Isis or Iris?
Iris.
Iris. I don't remember seeing her in the Mewtwo movie. Was she in it?
Yeah, that's the Unova movie, so she's there, but it's the Mewtwo movie, so Ash and Coke, they kind of didn't feel like they were in that movie almost.
Yeah, I don't remember at all.
Yeah, that movie is something. Ooh, I think my emulator just crashed. That's crazy. Was not expecting that. But yeah, the Talene says Rillaboom. Oh yeah, Rillaboom. Yeah, so when Ash did, I guess yeah, Iris was there, but she got clapped by Cynthia because it's Cynthia. I should mention. But yeah, what was I talking about? Okay, so that brings us to the battle with Cynthia. I think Ash battled Steven for his first opponent, and that battle was all right. It was Steven, so he was kind of working him, but he pulled through because it's Ash.
Steven's the homie.
Yeah, and so after that, Cynthia clapped Iris because again it's Cynthia, and then it gets to her battle with Ash, and Cynthia was working this boy. Cynthia was working him as you would expect her to. The way she took out Pikachu is she used Destiny Bond, and the fact that she was pulling out big brain strats like that, it's like, bro, that man Ash was shook. So
Probably
I've
gonna watch it all.
Yeah, you could probably go back and binge it. There's definitely some BS moments, especially with some of the one-hit moments like that. That is like, ugh. But other than that, it was all right. The animation could have been better in a few areas though, because it's journeys. So that brings us to the battle with Leon, which it had its ups and downs. It wasn't the best Pokemon anime battle, I say, but it definitely was an intense battle because Leon was cheesing this boy. He was cheesing this boy, and at one point, Leon, I think he just says that Ash, if he wants, he can use all his gimmicks if he wants, to even the playing field. And Ash is like, "What? If I use all my gimmicks, I'm gonna win easily." But Leon's like, "Nah, I can handle that." And he's like, "Okay." And then Leon's still working him because he's just OP in the anime for some reason, which makes
No
sense.
reason.
He's the world champion, so it makes sense that he's strong. But like, bro, the way the anime portrayed this man, you'd think he was a monster. And when the Tally mentioned Rillaboom, his Rillaboom is so strong for no reason. Rillaboom was working Ash. If you didn't know, for Leon's team, he used all 3 Galar starters, which I'm
For real.
guessing is so that he didn't have any repeats with some of the other mons that he used. But yeah, he used all 3 Galar starters. So that's especially what was making it like, bruh. That made me wish even more Ash brought old mons, because if he had brought Sceptile and Charizard, it would have been a wrap. So I guess
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring Charizard back.
right. And the thing is, we did see his older mons, because one thing about the Masters 8 is they have cameos from
TV.
they have cameos from the various characters throughout the series watching. And they cut back to Oak's lab, with Tracy and them and his mom watching, and we actually
They
see
put
his old
Tracy.
mons watching. Yeah, the fact they remember Tracy sometimes is funny.
The heck?
It's really funny, but yeah. Yeah, remember what Rillaboom did to Diamond? Again, that Rillaboom was a menace to society for no reason. That Rillaboom was on demon time. I don't know why. Who hurt that Rillaboom? What method of training he was doing to it? But it was funny to me. It was out there like Donkey Kong.
Wait, is Lyxor dead in the anime?
Oh, who?
Wait, is his name is no, it's like Sandre, right?
Oh, Lysandre.
The,
Right. Yeah, he's gone.
he died in the anime.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, though. That's a whole different thing. The Team Flare arc was wild. The Team Flare arc was wild.
I'm surprised they kept that.
Yeah. But he died in a different way, because in the games he nukes himself effectively. In the anime, nah, Zygarde blows him away.
Yeah.
Because it focused more on Zygarde, since something had to, because the games surely weren't.
True.
But yeah, that boy got blown back. I wish they made Ash grow older and had character development with him. And yeah, some people, again, they wish Journeys went about it a different way. Because him becoming world champion, I always imagine, again, it would be him using older mons, some of his strongest mons. Maybe he'd be a bit older. His friends would be there in person watching. And that's another thing people were mad at, is with the Ash versus Leon fight. So get this. I got to pause for this, because I'm like, trying to focus on this dumb stage. So get this. None of his friends, came to watch it in person. None of them. And there was only one. And the only, or not one, but 2. The only 2 who came to watch in person was his girl companion of this season, which was Chloe. The one who just let him stay in the lab because he was chill with her dad, even though she didn't like him. And then Dawn, of all people, came to watch, which makes sense because she's probably one of his closer companions. But I find that funny. No one else came to watch in person, but they were watching, though, on TV, which I thought was nice.
Did they ever bring back May?
She was watching on TV, and weirdly, she was with Serena. which is due to the fact that she's in Hoenn right now. Yeah,
What
there's a weird thing
about
where
Brock?
Serena went to Hoenn to compete in contests, so she met May off screen, and they're partners now, which I find interesting.
It's funny.
But yeah, Brock was watching, and that was that one screen where he was with Silent Alexa from Kalos, and it was random to see Alexa there. It's like she's not one of his companions; she's just someone who was who helped him get the Kalos. Red is a better character and better trainer. See, ah, better trainer. Yes, I wouldn't call Red like this amazing character because like we don't know
You
much
know,
about Red himself. Origins did try though. Origins definitely did a good job of adding more onto Red, but I wouldn't call him like this character where we know a bunch about him, and I'd call him like have him have better character development than Ash. Because like with Ash, we've seen him get to this point. We've seen his L's. We've seen his resets. With Red, he's more of a personification, if you will. And that's not to say Red doesn't have some type of character to him, but more than Ash, I don't know about that. But that's just me. And keep in mind, I'm not like a big Ash simp like some people out here. Like I roast this boy just as much as anyone else. But he's been the main character for of the anime for a while for a reason. I feel like he's basically meant to be Red with more character. But yeah, he ended up he fought Leon. It came down to his ace Charizard, then Pikachu, and then they had that really good final battle. Which that final battle was so well animated. Almost makes me wonder if they outsourced that or something. But yeah, really good final battle. Pikachu went Super Saiyan and he got the victory. So Journeys isn't over yet, so we have no clue how this series is gonna wrap up. If there's gonna be a time skip or if he's just gonna be chilling at home or what. But I hope they wrap up the series nicely, and I'm glad to see he became world champ. All right, what's next? Oh yeah, next I wanted to talk a bit about Black Panther because I saw that. Do you even
Wait, you
still?
saw the movie?
Yeah, the new Black Panther. Do you even still care about Marvel, Conan? I don't know if you even still care about Marvel.
I've never cared about Marvel.
Dang, it'd be like
I
that.
saw the original Spider-Man movies, and then I saw Hulk, the original. I don't like it. I saw some of the X-Men, and then I've never seen any of the MCU except for No Way Home.
That's crazy because there's definitely some good MCU movies for sure. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah, I heard Iron Man was good.
Yeah, but if you ever want to go on an MCU marathon, it's not that bad. I did it, and it wasn't the worst thing. But some movies are better than others. Some movies are better than others. For sure.
Yeah, like Captain Marvel.
Oh my goodness. No, bro. No, I will say that movie isn't as bad as I remember it being, but it's definitely still a chore to get through. Like some people be acting like that movie is an insult to cinema, which no, there are much worse films out there. But yeah, it's still not that great because it's Captain Marvel.
Saw some reviews on it.
Yeah, oh no, again, some reviews will paint that movie to be like the worst thing ever, which no, it's not, but it's still not good.
You know, like the dude, he was complaining for like 10 minutes that he said, what's the dude by Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh right,
Fury?
one of the worst things about the movie is how they handle Nick Fury losing his eye because he's the guy with the eye
Yeah.
patch, and they reveal how he lost his eye. And bro, I was
Cat.
yeah, I was heated too. And they do it for no other reason than a joke, and that's one of the big problems with the MCU is how much it ended up relying on jokes, and it's like it gets really bad. Sometimes it gets
Yeah.
really bad, especially with the later films. But at least by the end of the Affinity Saga, I'd say it came to a nice close with Endgame and all that stuff. So if you ever want to do at least a binge of the Infinity Saga movies and do those, then yeah, definitely do. I recommend it.
I can't.
Yeah, I know you're busy though, so you might not have time for that crap.
Nah, I can watch them. I just have like no interest.
Dang.
Like, only characters I care about is Wolverine and Nightcrawler. But Nightcrawler, he's irrelevant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the X-Men. They haven't even come in the MCU yet, so
Yeah,
yeah, they're not even in the story yet.
yeah, Gambit and Beast too. Those are some of my favorites.
Uh, well, I'll let you know when them boys get into the MCU. And that's what I need to do. I'm the one who needs to go binge X-Men because I don't even remember the X-Men movies. I saw a few in theaters because I got dragged to them because folks around here used to be crazy for X-Men. I never cared for X-Men like that. I've always been more into the other side of Marvel with the studios and all that stuff. I never cared for X-Men like that. But I had friends and my dad, he also really liked X-Men. I think Magneto was one of his favorite characters.
Yeah, he was cool.
So yeah, maybe I'll do a binge of the X-Men films. Which I know though that's not any better because that has its own Marvel has some mid to trash movies sometimes. X-Men, ooh, like the things
Yeah, I
I've
remember
heard
them
on some
being
of the
cheesy.
movies, ooh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for that. For some of the movies, have you
Oh,
watched every
Wolverine.
single one, or what are your thoughts on them?
I haven't seen the new one. What was it called? Like Dark Phoenix or something?
Yeah, there's a bunch of X-Men movies, bro.
I saw like the originals and like Wolverine's origin and all that. I never seen Logan because I didn't like the story I heard.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I know that's the dark and edgy one.
Yeah, and his daughter.
Yeah,
Well, thanks.
The Last of Us. But yeah, I'll give some thoughts on Black Panther, and if anyone's in the chat, I should warn now. I might be getting into some light spoilers with Black Panther for Wakanda Forever. So if you care about that, you might want to peace out for a minute or two. And I apologize if you get hit with any spoilers. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about Black Panther. So basically, this follows on the original one, and the original one was really good. It introduced Wakanda, but Wakanda, the world of Wakanda is cool. The story was cool with Killmonger and all that stuff. It's a nice movie. I would recommend it, but again, it's probably better when you're like binging the MCU as a whole because it does have its connections with the other movies and stuff like that. Especially with Civil War, you gotta see Civil War, and Civil War does not hit unless you hit to see more of the other Marvel movies. So that's the reason why I wouldn't individually recommend Black Panther, but the OG Black Panther was good. The worst things about it, of course, was the fact that the CGI could be a little jank, as usual with later Marvel movies. Because of how fast they put out the Marvel movies, they go for the Pokemon effect, where the visuals aren't the best. And it's worse more now than ever. So yeah. But yeah, overall the first film was really good. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. Now let's talk about this sequel. So this sequel,
Is it
dang.
just bad as I hear?
Okay, so here's my thoughts on the sequel. I think it's okay. I think it's decent. Some people say the movie is bad or super trash. I disagree with that. And keep in mind, here's my thoughts on the movie. I originally had very little faith in this movie. I originally thought that this movie was going to be a train wreck. Why? Because first of all, we have the main league of the we have the main lead actor for the first Black Panther passing away, Chadwick Boseman, which was really sad to hear because they had actually finished work. Oh my goodness. I'm a grown ass man and I'm still scared of these ghosts. They do be looking kind of freaky compared to like freaking Booze. These dudes are like really freaking looking. But I'm not that scared of them. Oh my goodness. Stop. Like, the way they just grab you, it's annoying, bro.
Is it true that the Black Panther 2 is like, oh, the whole movie's like talking, and then they said the fightings at the end only.
Yeah, so let me get into that. Okay, so with the passing of the lead actor, that kind of changed the script of how this movie was going to go. So the first half of this movie is basically focused on building Wakanda following the loss of their leader, because what they do is they kill off that character. You know, a lot of people, some people were campaigning that they recast the actor or do something different, but what they ended up doing is just kind of killing the character, and they do it in like a very nonchalant way. Like, and it's not the worst way ever, but it's definitely kind of like bizarre, because it's like you're not gonna explain specifically what killed him. Like, all they meant say is it was an unspecified disease, which, okay, and they did it in a respectful way too. It wasn't like bizarre, or they didn't make any jokes out of it, which thank God, because that would have been horrible if they did that. But yeah, that's part of the reason why it's already bizarre in of itself. But now let's get into the story. So the entire first half of this movie is basically set up for the rest of the story, which is establishing, you know, what the heck is going on with Wakanda now that they lost their leader. And it's kind of just like they're chilling, they're trying to protect their vibranium because now people are coming after it since they lost their leader, which I think makes sense. Like, with their leader gone, obviously the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to be like, ooh, the Black Panther's gone. It's time to pull up. So it makes sense that they focus on the politics and stuff of trying to protect vibranium and telling people, hey, don't do that. But then the movie gets weird. So they want to track down someone who built a vibranium finder, and they go to like California or something. MIT is where they go to, the place where Iron Man went to for university. And they recruit this girl who ends up becoming obviously the Ironheart character, the black girl Tony Stark, if you will. Yeah, her. And I know she made some folks really mad. Because, you
I
know,
heard.
yeah, she's replacing Tony Stark, and yeah. I don't hate her per se, but she also wasn't very interesting to me, and it was very weird to have a character like her in this movie that's very clearly supposed to be focused on, you know, the Black Panther stuff. So it was very weird to see her. Some people say like she felt like not fitting to the movie, but the way they wrote her in wasn't bad. It makes sense that she of all characters would be the one to build the vibranium finder, and that would be kind of the main cusp of this movie. So after that, we get into the whole war plot line, which is where the movie picks up, where we learn that Wakanda isn't the only civilization with vibranium. The underwater people, who are basically Atlantis, but they change it because they don't want comparisons to Aquaman. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's underwater people. They're similar to the Atlanteans from Aquaman, but they're not that. I honestly forget how you pronounce their name. I think it's Taktakun. I probably butchered that, but yeah, the not Atlantis people, they have vibranium too, and they find out about this girl who built the vibranium finder, and they're like, hey, why does this girl have the ability to just build something that can lead to our civilization, and why are y'all cool with this? Nah, we need to kill her. And obviously they're like, no, like that's a little girl, we can't kill her. And it's like, oh no, okay, wartime, and that's basically the rest of the movie. So it's definitely a finicky reason for why they go to war, but I guess it makes sense because for years they hadn't really had anyone finding them. But now that this girl has built this vibranium finder, and there's potential for people to find them now, they're not with it. So that's basically the plot. So yeah, the first half of the movie is really slow. It's just building on specifically how Wakanda deals with losing their leader, and then it goes into the war stuff, which is why that's where all the action is. So yeah, it's a weird movie for sure. And another thing is the movie is somber. Like with the first movie, it had like a lit soundtrack. It was very bombastic and went to different places and settings. This movie is very slow. Again, especially in that first half. Like there's a scene with the Atlantis King guy. He literally sits there and explains his backstory. Like it is so exposition-y. It is ridiculous. Like he explains his backstory piece by piece. And I'm not gonna lie, I was annoyed there. I was falling asleep.
I hate when movies do that.
Yeah, like now that people I've seen reviews point out exposition scenes, I notice it more and it gets on my nerves,
Same.
especially when it's like long exposition, which is what this was. Like he explains his backstory. They could have easily like done it in a more natural way, but no, he's like, "Okay, this is how I became the king of Atlantis. This is how we got vibranium, blah blah blah." It's ridiculous. But yeah, other than that, I'd say overall the movie was all right. The thing that really surprised me was I was surprised how well they handled Shiri, who is the sister. Like she was in the previous movie and in the other Avengers movies and stuff like that. And in the comics, she's the one who ends up becoming Black Panther after her brother. So that's what they did for this movie. And now one of the reasons I was worried about this movie is because the actor who played Shuri, she started getting into a lot of controversies. One of the big ones being that she was telling people not to take the vaccine, the COVID vaccine and stuff, and it was a whole mess, bro. It was a whole mess. But yeah, like when those controversies popped up, that got me really worried about this movie. And then, and then, plus how mid Phase Four has been of the MCU, which that's a whole other tangent. I don't want to linger on that too long, but yeah, Phase Four of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been a hot mess. Some of the movies have been hot garbage, like the Thor movie was bad, bro. That movie was bad. Ooh, let me not get into that.
Bro, when I worked at the movie theater, my coworker called it Thor Love and Mid or something like that. That shit is dying.
Nah, mid ain't even accurate. That movie is hot garbage. Hot garbage. That movie is bad, bro. Have you seen the meme of the floating black kid head?
Oh yeah, this shit was funny.
That movie is bad, bro. But besides that, Phase 4, there have been some stuff like Moon Knight, it had its own problems too, but I thought that was okay. The Doctor Strange movie, it had a hella flaws. But
He called it
overall,
Doctor Mid.
that is what I would call mid. It had hella flaws, but overall it was okay. It was passable. But yeah, overall the MCU Phase 4 has just been all over the place. So to get a movie that was decent and didn't entirely piss me off, I was like, okay, I'll give Black Panther 2 a pass. Movie wasn't perfect. There are certain areas of the writing that could have been touched up a bit more. But overall, it was a good movie. So yeah, again, I know you're not big on Marvel, so you probably didn't have as much to say there, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I saw that movie. I thought it was alright. It could have been better in areas, but yeah. So,
People keep telling me to watch the first one.
oh, who?
Everybody
Oh,
when they mention
wow,
it.
wow. Nah, if you don't see the first Black Panther, your black card gets taken away, Conan. You're legally no longer allowed to say the N word. Oh my goodness. How are we feeling, chat? I'm sorry, I had to go on a whole tangent there about Marvel and stuff like that. I know I froze on the gameplay, but how are we doing, chat? I apologize for that. Gandhi says, "Hell, I can't even beat hard mode on this stage without getting jump scared in some areas." That's fair. That's fair. Gandhi also says the only Marvel superhero I cared about is Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Fair. Again, Spider-Man's one of my favorite heroes, arguably my favorite hero of all time. And Miles Morales is really cool. Into the Spider-Verse, goated movie. Looking forward to the sequel. Oh, please tell me you've seen that, Conan, though. Please, bro.
What which one?
Into the Spider-Verse?
Uh
Nah, you need to see that. You don't even need to see any old other movies for that, bro. Go watch that.
maybe. I don't like Spider Man.
Dang. Crazy.
I
But
like
yeah.
Toby though.
But yeah, the Into the Spider Verse is a really good movie. Probably one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I just realized I'm doing a knuckle stage. Oh boy, I'm about to be flying around looking like an idiot. All right, Okay, so the next subject I want to talk about, it's not a subject because I'm not going to get too much on this one, but I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to do something for this man. Kevin Conroy passed away, and it was sad to see him go. So I wanted to say, rest in peace to that boy. Shout outs to him. He was basically the definitive voice for the Batman character. Like if you've watched or played anything Batman, there's a good chance he was voicing him in it. He's been doing the voice
Oh,
since the animated series. So, do you have any memories of anything Batman he might have been in? I could probably.
watch Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, I think he was in. Maybe I think he was in that. I'd have to double check. But yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. He was a real one.
What about the Arkham games? Was that him?
Yep, that was him for sure.
Oh, then I know him.
Yeah, he was the main voice of Batman in that. And yes, he was Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. So, big rest in
But,
peace. Oh, I hear that. If you need to go out, you can go.
what?
I heard. I thought you said wait.
I said lit.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he's been voicing Batman in so much stuff. Oh, ooh, I'm close by one. Okay, let's see where it at. Where you at, boy? Yeah, it's the church. Here we go. All right, where's this next one? The treasure hunting stages, they can be annoying, but some of them are lit though. Like Pumpkin Hill, I love this stage. I don't know how anyone could call this stage bad.
I don't think the stage is bad. I just think treasure hunting is kind of.
Oh, and another one already. Let's see where it at. Where you at, boy? Where is it? Is it a cliffside one? Let me see. I will say one of the annoying things about SA2 is this camera, bro. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. All right, one more to go. But yeah, see, like these stages aren't so bad. It's just sometimes they take a minute, with the way the radar is. And yes, Ghani says he is Batman, which he is. He's voiced him in so much stuff. Like if you think of the average Batman voice, like he's probably the main one that comes to mind because he's just voiced him in so much stuff. He is a real one. So rest in peace to that boy. We will miss him. And that's going to bring us to the final topic on my list here. I have one more on my list here, Conan, and then we'll probably be able to end the stream, especially since we're coming up on 2 hours. So the final topic is the Wii U turned 10 for its anniversary. And I just wanted to I was going to just give my thoughts on what I think of the Wii U, because I have a lot of memories with the system. It's the first one that I bought myself. And I had a lot of faith, in the Wii U. I played it a lot. Obviously, it wasn't all perfect memories because you know how it was. But yeah,
Horrible.
yeah. Wii U turned 10. So, what do you think about the Wii U? Any specific memories you want to bring up? I'll let you talk since I've been rambling for a minute.
Try not to think about the Wii U or Wii.
Dang, that's crazy. I mean, it is fair though. The Wii U definitely had its dark period. I will say, despite how bad those later years got and how bad the droughts were, I do still really like the system and some of the games for it and the memories I have playing those games are really fun. Like Smash 4, I know it's cool to dunk on Smash 4 nowadays, especially with Ultimate, and it is objectively much better. But I still, have a lot of fond memories of playing that game. I don't regret my time with it.
I would prefer Smash 4 over Ultimate.
Dang, that's crazy.
To pick what to play.
Nah, Ultimate any day because it has the bigger roster and just better quality of life features. But Ultimate did have some things better, like the online wasn't as insufferable, and the art style is better and not bleached out.
I don't know what it was, but the controllers I used for Smash Wii U, they just felt more comfortable.
Where the heck is this last one? I'm like flying between the islands trying to see where it is without using the hints. It's taking so dang long, it probably don't even matter. It's all good though. Gani says, same, I don't like the treasure hunting stages either. I wish they made Knuckles and Rouge more beat 'em up stages. Which is something I suggested in also my remake. But I do like the treasure hunting stages. But I think going forward, if they were going to do something more else with Knuckles or with strength characters, it should definitely lean towards the beat 'em up route. And they should work on perfecting that. Like, mix beat 'em up with platforming is what they should do. You know? But I also like treasure hunting because it especially takes advantage of Knuckles, flying around and exploring, which I think does fit his character.
True.
This game really has the best Knuckles voice. Let them know. That much is for sure. Let them know. I like how in the animation that they were doing for the Sonic Frontiers, you can tell they were trying to capture the vibe of that specific Knuckles voice. Oh my goodness. But yeah, let them know. That's the best Knuckles voice right there. Okay, I gotta look at the hints, bro. I might have to look at the hints because I don't know where this last one is. I swear I've looked between most of the islands. I might be paranoid and there might be one I didn't look on. Let's see. But yeah, Wii U in terms of a system, I still have a lot of fond memories of it, even though it wasn't always perfect, especially in the later years, which is when I really started being like, okay, I hate this system. Just because of how few games it had. But in those first few years, where we were getting some decent games, the droughts weren't as bad. I liked the system. When you do something bad, this might happen. What does that mean? That's another thing. These hints, bro. Might as well not as use the hint. Oh, did I use a hint accidentally again? It says near the ghost train. So I guess I gotta go to the train island. Let me see. Oh, so Gani said something. I'm gonna read it in a sec. See. Again, this camera, bro. Alright, I'm gonna use my hint. Under the tombstone, far away. What does that mean? Why are you like this game? I could have sworn one of the hints said it was near the train. Maybe that wasn't a hint. Dan Green did a decent voice for Knuckles, even though his little gruffy with his voice. Yeah, I do also like Dan Green Knuckles. The problem with Dan Green Knuckles is because of how much other stuff Dan Green is in, it wasn't that unique of a voice for him. But I do still like the voice. Like he's one voice actor and he was in so much junk. Like you can only do so many voices for one person. So when I hear while I do like Dan Green Knuckles, I also hear Yugi and all the other voices he's done. So that's why like Dan Green Knuckles isn't the perfect Knuckles voice to me, but I do also like the direction of the way he did the character. It's far better than his later voices, bro. I might restart because wherever this last symbol piece is, it's an annoying place.
Where is the new Knuckles?
If you watch the Sonic Frontiers short, the animation one, you'll hear it, and it's eh. I think he's been voicing him since Team Sonic Racing, because I don't know
Is that
what
the
it
same
is.
scholars?
It's not the same colors error voice, but it's a new one. I don't know what it is, but the for some reason a lot of the colors error voice actors started switching near the latter half of it. But of course they kept Roger and Pollock, which I like Pollock, but y'all know how I feel about Roger and
Yeah.
and they did keep Tails from Boom, I guess, which she's all right. And then Amy, no, I'm not a fan of Amy's voice that they kept, so that was annoying. And yeah, oh, and Shadows, I think they kept his too, because I heard him in the Twitter takeover. Which, here it is. It's on this. Oh wait, let me see this. Where is this dang emerald? All right, which way is it? This way. I'm ticked off. Now it wants to go off. Cannot believe it took so long to find that dang emerald piece. The new voice Knuckles sounds like a jock in high school. Right. He sounds similar to Boom Knuckles. And now he's not as annoying as Boom Knuckles, because I do not like Boom Knuckles, bro. I cannot
Me
stand
either.
Boom Knuckles. So he's a little better than that, but he's definitely still eh.
Can you get out?
But yeah, I think that's it for yeah. Current Shadow sounds like an evil vampire. Yeah, he does. He do be sounding like Edward from Twilight. But that's pretty much it for all our topics, Conan. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm probably gonna cut this off any second, but I'll play this level in case you want to talk about anything else.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have any subjects. Maybe I'll scroll Twitter real quick and see if there's something I want to discuss. Because otherwise, I've pretty much hit all my topics. But yeah, crazy week on Twitter, folks. Excuse me. I will say I've always loved these anti-gravity levels. This is the true Super Mario Galaxy beta right here.
Some of them were cool.
Yeah,
Got
well,
a
yeah,
bit weird
obviously
with
mad
Sonic.
space and and them are annoying, but I always liked the floating, the extra floatiness you get in these levels. It's cool.
True.
Oh my gosh, artificial chaos, go away! I forgot they're in this game too. Why must I be reminded of the torment? Oop. Oh, I almost died right there. Ow. But yeah, how we feeling, chat? Any subjects I guess I could talk about before we end tonight off? Because after this level, I'm done. I'm gonna scroll Twitter in a second, pause and check. What time is it? Oh, it's 12. It's not so bad. I was thinking it's about to be 1 in the morning or something. I'd be like, okay, we need to end the stream here. But yeah, I have time to do one more. Alright. Oop. Gani says, I just love Shadow stage music in ST2. It sounds so mysterious. Yeah, I like how for his music, they could have easily done something super overly edgy, like metal or something, or just like dark rock or something. But I like how they go for like a edgy techno kind of vibe. That's the type of techno I like more so than freaking Atani and his love for EDM in Sonic Frontiers. Him and his weird EDM dubstep. Which I'm not entirely against it because Forces and I think Frontiers, from what little I've heard, have some okay songs, but like, bro, at some point you gotta let it go.
Yeah, I heard some of the Sonic Frontier songs and it didn't sound too good.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. I'll keep y'all posted when I get this game and I can play it and judge for myself, though.
Should be funny.
If I can play that game live, oh boy, that's gonna be a trip. I'm wondering if it'll even run that great. Y'all saw tonight. Like, tonight was weird. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode trying to play Sonic Frontiers. Like if my game's got to go out, can I go out playing like a game I like, please? Not to say I won't hate Frontiers, maybe, but yeah. Boy, Artificial Chaos, please, bro. I like saw him there and I knew. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting up there. Oh my goodness. I'm only getting Sonic Frontiers for like $20 when I see a discount on Steam. Hey, you're playing it smart, my friend. I was reading.
Only getting it if it's $10 on Switch.
Yeah, that's a comment I just read. Someone said they'll get it when they see it for $20. Now you might, if you wait a little longer, you might say, "Oh my goodness, Artificial Chaos, bro." But like I was saying, if you wait a little longer, you might see it for like what, $5 or something, or it'll be free on PS Now, like Forces.
True.
Like Forces randomly was free on PS Now, and that made me laugh. Bro, it's crazy. Every time I see Artificial Chaos, it feels like that thing goes after me. What? Just not. Of course it's you. Wow, and it killed me too. Nice. Oh my goodness, I hate that enemy so much, bro. That enemy, it hates me as much as I hate it. What did I do? What did I do to you, Chaos? Don't I love SA1 enough? Trying to see if we can beat this level before we hit the 2-hour mark. We might not be able to. If not, I'll probably just cut it off early. Yeah, I don't think we will. Alright, I'll stop the gameplay here. I'll check Twitter one more time and then I'll end the stream. Do do do. Oh yeah, there's the glitch. In terms of Scarlet and Violet glitches, there's the one where people get the facial expression stuck, which is funny. That one's funny. Oh, and there's more glitches. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Now we got faceless glitches?
What happened?
Apparently the glitches are getting bad. Like there's faceless glitches and stuff.
On Pokemon?
Yeah, I gotta see that, but no one's posting. Come on. That is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully Scarlet and Violet works itself out. I'll be playing the game soon, so I hope I don't encounter that many glitches. Because if I do, oh boy, you're gonna be hearing about it from me in my review. But yeah, thank
I
you for.
think the
Oh, what were
I
you
think the
saying?
game is still more fun than Generation 8, but it's just too many glitches.
Ooh, more fun than Gen 8. That's a spicy take.
Wasn't say so.
That's a spicy. If that's true, that'll make up for it a little. But thank you for coming out, Conan, to this stream
No
and
prob.
having this crazy talk with us. Thank you to the viewers, Gani, the Taline, everyone else in the chat for watching. Thank you very much. I'm gonna cut the stream off now, and I'll have a re-upload this on YouTube. Until next time, peace out, folks.
Later.